clinic story for you again. Long and boring, but better than an NA meeting, as I say. Um, just most people know that my hair had fallen out from medication, so I figured if I did a video with my hair wet, you can't really tell the difference because it'll look flat regardless. So, this is the story of when I attempted to get off of methadone maintenance. Now, this was many years ago when I was in my 20s, so like 300 years ago. So, I started off at a clinic that was pretty far from where I lived, and it was a real pain in the ass because you had to go there every day and get your methadone. Finally, I moved to where a clinic was only 10 blocks away. And the first year that I was on methadone maintenance, I was on 110 milligrams. I was using still. And every day, like clockwork, I still had to go and get my methadone every morning. The last 2 years I was on methadone maintenance, I did not use. I had clean urines, but they still wouldn't give me an extra bottle. They only give you a bottle for Sundays unless you have clean urines. But they don't even like to give you an extra bottle when you have clean urines. Now, it's very hard to hold down a job when you're on methadone maintenance because they close early. So a lot of times you get long lines. The computers are down. You can't get medicated until you see your counselor or take a urine test. And then you're late for jail. And it's just no way to live. It really is no way to live. So the 110 worked for me, but every morning I had to go and get it. But then it started wearing off, and I didn't know why it was wearing off. So the clinic found out for me why it was wearing off. I had gotten pregnant. So I had to make a decision. My decision for me personally was to have an abortion because I did not want to give birth to a child addicted to methadone. But I wanted off badly. I was clean, but I still had to get something every day. Why? I want off. They refused to take me off. So I had to go what's on called an administrative detox. An administrative detox is when you take yourself down 10 milligrams a day until you're off. And you cannot go inpatient until you're down to 30 or 40 milligrams. They won't take you. So I was at, 120 because they raised me when I had gotten pregnant. Went down 10 milligrams a day till I got down to 40. And I was like, damn, I'm doing great here. I don't feel anything. So I flew myself down to a place in Florida at the time. I was young, so still on my parents' private insurance and didn't have to go through a shitty Medicaid detox. I went to Florida because I figured whatever I feel, maybe less of a chance of me signing myself out with no money and stuck in the middle of Florida. Because I just saw myself at a rehabs 24/7. So I fly down to Florida. I'm doing okay. They take me from 40 to 35 to 30. And then they hit 25. Once they hit 25, oh my God. The methadone wore off after 5 minutes. It usually lasts 24 hours at least. And the pain just started. And once it started, oh my God, it did not stop. This is the pain that you would feel. So you get this twitching and this jerking and this seizing in your legs, like uncontrollable movements. But you're so weak, you can't stand up. But you're so restless, you can't sit down. So you don't know what to do with yourself. And then you're chilled to the bone, even in 90-degree summer in Florida. And I couldn't sleep night after night after night after night. I was up. The entire time I was there, I went 30 nights without sleeping. People say that's impossible. It was not impossible at all. I also did not eat anything. Your sense of smell and your sense of taste changes when you're in withdrawal. So everything smells really nasty and everything tastes really nasty unless you have like some chocolate or some gum or something. And thank God you could smoke there, but whatever. That's just my personal thing. And I was getting just so irritated. They wouldn't give me anything to sleep. I said, look, I have options that you can give me to sleep that aren't narcotics that will work. No, no, no. They all know more than you. Of course they know more than you. Even if they never went through it, they know more than you. One night I'm walking around in circles around the nurse's station, and the nurse, who is supposedly in recovery, says to me, oh, well, when I was kicking, and in this voice, when I was kicking, I used to say to people, look at my legs, they're literally kicking. I took a chair and it was surrounded by like this plastic thing. I took a chair and threw it at the plastic that was surrounding the nurses' stations, and then security had to hold me down. It was insane. When my legs were in pain, it felt like somebody was taking your muscle, twisting it, and then pulling at it. But it was constant, no break. The only break I would have is if I put a bathtub up with really hot water and put my legs in it. It's the only time my legs could sit still. Otherwise, they're seizing and they're twitching. And if you try to stop them from twitching, your whole body will like jerk like that constantly. It's so awful. And then I see my roommate, and they gave her something. She wasn't on opiates, but like she fell asleep for like 3 days, and she went to the bathroom in the bed. So it's like, whatever you gave her, give me. It turns out I shouldn't have said that. What they gave me was Thorazine. For those who don't know, Thorazine is an antipsychotic they give to a lot of people in jail. Did nothing for me. The other patients there, I was the only one coming off methadone maintenance, were rubbing my calves on a constant basis because I couldn't walk on them, but I couldn't sit either. You don't know what to do with yourself. It's like, ugh. And then, sorry, one last thing I forgot to mention. On my last day, they were going to take me from 5 to 0. And I said, no, you can't do that. You need to take me from 5 to 2.5. Even though the 20, 15, 10, 5, I didn't feel at all. There was no break from pain. When they rolled out the 2.5 and they were about to give it to me, I see all of everybody else's methadone that they're getting for that day. I couldn't help myself because I was shaking and tremor so bad. I reached for someone's methadone and I just downed it. I could not help myself. I got a lot of trouble for that. It was so, it was horrible. And then the other days that I'm there for sleep, you know what they do? They add 2 more antipsychotics on top of the Thorazine. So now I'm on 3 antipsychotics, all that did nothing for me to sleep. Now, the reason most rehabs and detox are 30 days is because that's all insurance pays for. So at 31st day, they give me whatever meds I came in with and my plane ticket back to New York. It's time to go. So I'm still so weak. I'm still so twitching. I still haven't slept 31 nights. Not even for a second. Like, not even literally for a second. They give me whatever meds I came in with. I take 2 Elavil, which is an antidepressant with a side effect of sleep, which to me is like an aspirin. I get on the plane. I wake up an hour later with an oxygen mask on my face, and I said, "Are we in New York yet?" They said, "No, we're making emergency landing in Savannah for you. You were hanging into the aisle. We tried to wake you up. You wouldn't wake up. We thought you were dead." I'm sure everybody else at the air in the plane was staring at me, but I didn't notice. They tried to stand me up, and when they stood me up, I fell right down. I was too weak. So they made an emergency landing for me in Savannah. My family called asking about the flight. They said there was a sick passenger. They obviously then knew it was me. Explained what was going on. They had American Airlines doctor waiting for me with a wheelchair who checked me out because I could not go back on that flight. I had to now go on a different flight. Then they made me stay with the stewardess in a wheelchair until my next flight. I still remember this woman because she wheeled me around the food court just so I could get some chocolate because that's all I could fit in my stomach. I get on the plane. When I get off the plane, remember, this weakness is not gone. I couldn't deal with my luggage. I left it on the carousel. I was too weak to take it off. So I got into a cab and took a cab into the city to my rent-stabilized 4-story walk-up. I couldn't walk up the steps. They were so steep. So I was crawling up the steps, and my boyfriend was in my apartment, and I made sure, and I hadn't done dope in 2 years, I made sure that he had dope for me because I couldn't handle what I was going through. I didn't want to take it. I had no choice at this point. How long was I going to feel like this? From what I heard, people were telling me it could be another year. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So I'm screaming, "Come get me. I can't walk up the stairs." I'm screaming it in the hallway. He comes down and gets me. He lifts me up, takes me into the kitchen, gives me something to make me feel a bit better. And that was me coming off methadone maintenance. And that was the last time that I ever tried to go on and off methadone maintenance. We'll never touch methadone again. That's my story. Bye. Hopefully my hair will grow back more next time I see you.